Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, the Colts podcast with real takes and no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. What's up, Dan?
Oh, not too much. Not too much. Our favorite owner has has done it again, man. I don't know what to say about this guy. You gotta love him, you gotta hate him, but man, he's taken to Twitter, or what do they call it, X now? I don't know what they call it anymore. But anyways, he's out there running his mouth about the whole contract negotiation running back thing. Gets Jonathan Taylor's agent all up in arms. Josh, what are you thinking with this, man?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to be real here. You know it's 2023 when an NFL owner and an idiot agent are going back and forth on Twitter or X or whatever they call it. And we give one word reactions on our show. And I'm just going to start off with my one word. I'm just going to call this a mess. This is a freaking mess. First of all, Jonathan Taylor, obviously he's got contract talks going on. Irsay never should have tweeted that tweet. Whether or not he meant to take a shot at Taylor's agent, the optics of that is just bad. It's just bad. And then Taylor's agent goes on Twitter last night, takes a shot at the Colts, says, hey, the Colts, it's bad faith that the Colts are not paying their top offensive target. Then he starts liking tweets saying Taylor should get traded to Miami. And then today he tweets again something saying, almost insinuating that the relationship between Jonathan Taylor and the Colts is irreparable. Dan, it's a freaking mess.
Yeah, just absolute nonsense. That's my one word. Just nonsense from Irsay. I mean, just opens up a can of worms that, hey, everyone knows behind the scenes, all these running backs, they're getting together, they're ticked off. The market isn't really favorable to their position. We get it. We get why the NFL owners are doing it. It's almost like two immovable objects here. There's no need for Irsay just to kind of put gasoline on it and light a cigarette and just flick it right into this thing, man. And whether this has any legs to it, or whether or not, something that's going to have to happen. Irsay is going to need to come out and either kind of sidestep it, or Jonathan Taylor's going to have to come out. I mean, the agent's doing what the agent's supposed to do. The agent needs to get the player as much money as possible, but
I don't know,
something
man.
needs to happen here.
This agent, Melky Kawa is his name, and I might have mispronounced that, but I know agents are supposed to work hard, but I think he's gone a little far with this one. I mean, just with how he's handled it, saying, and I think he's trying to get leverage at the end of the day, and he's trying to get leverage in a market where running backs don't have leverage. So maybe this is his way of doing it. But it's bad PR for Taylor, who has been a pretty classy guy since his time joining the league, and he obviously insinuates that the Colts' relationship with him is irreparable, or whatever the case may be. That's my question: is do you think that Taylor's really played his last down with the Colts?
No, not at all. I think more of what's happening with Jacobs out in Las Vegas, or even Barkley. I think that Barkley story is not done yet, even though he signed the 1-year deal and really didn't get much extra. It gives him some more leverage to negotiate. I think those guys are going to be more have the final say on what happens with Jonathan Taylor. This agent, again, I don't know anything about him, but to me, he's just doing his job. He's just trying to make noise, trying to push some buttons. Hopefully, in the end, gets as much money as he possibly can. But if Jonathan Taylor wants to get paid, he's got to play. That's just the bottom line. That's just the way this is going to work. He's got to have a good year. He's got to play. His best option to play right away is now with the Colts. There's nothing that I see that this is going to turn into something more of a nightmare. I don't want to say two idiots going back and forth on Twitter, but that's kind of where I'm leaning towards right now.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. So I think at the end of the day, and people, this horse has been beat so much on whether or not Jonathan Taylor should be paid or not. And some people say you can't look at what other teams do because the Colts are their own unique situation. But you kind of have to look at what other teams are doing to establish the market. You can't just pay Jonathan Taylor $20 million just because he's good for us. I mean, there is a market there. I do think that the Colts are in a spot where they can pay Taylor just because we have that rookie quarterback and we can afford him. And I think he's going to be an integral part of the development of Anthony Richardson. That aside, for Irsay to do what he did, for this whack job agent to do what he did. And I've done some research on this guy, and he's more of an MMA agent. He's John Bones Jones's agent, the UFC fighter, dives into that quite a bit. I think he's more used to that kind of rough and tough, kind of pound your chest and say what you want kind of crowd. And the NFL isn't really quite like that as much with agents. It's a little messy right now. And like you said, I think Irsay is going to have to say something to clean this up, or Taylor is going to have to issue a professional statement. Because keep in mind, Taylor fired his agent to hire this guy within the last 4 months. I mean, this guy is kind of a newly hired guy for Taylor, because this is Shaq Leonard's agent as well.
Hey, I'm on record. I think you're on record as well too. We think the Colts should lock him up now. We think the Colts should get ahead of whatever this running back market is going. Give him a 3-year deal, maybe 40. Let's say it's even $50 million a year. Oh, not a year. Sorry, $50 million over 3 years. Maybe 36 of it guaranteed, something like that. I mean, I'm all in favor of that, and I want to get ahead of this market. That would be good for Jonathan Taylor. That'd be good just for where the Colts are at. But you know what? I don't know if any of us can ever believe we know where Irsay is going to go, because we don't. I mean, this guy, again, you love him or you hate him. He is just a loose cannon. Someone should pull his Twitter account or change his password, okay? Or put a screen lock on him. We got a 12-year-old at home, okay?
Yeah.
We put screen locks on our kids' devices. Someone needs to put a little screen lock on Irsay for a little bit. Get him away from that, and then some PR department writes up something that he supposedly said, and let's move on from this nonsense.
Do you love or hate Irsay?
I love him. He's good for business. I mean, he's good for us to talk about. He's good for us because, there's a lot of bad NFL owners out there. He's not a bad NFL owner. He wants to win, and I'll respect that. If we got to put up with this nonsense every now and then, I mean, I'd rather have him than some of these other guys. We just saw Snyder get basically booted out for just being a corrupt owner in Washington. You've heard stories about other owners. Hey, I'll take Irsay any day of the week, but these are moments where you just shake your head and say, "Come on, Jim, knock it off here."
Yeah. You wish he would be better about that, but the dude bleeds blue and white. Like, he wants to win. And there's some owners who are unplugged. There's some owners who, like you said, Snyder, and there's some corrupt owners. Jim Irsay, say what you want about him, but he wants the Colts to be a winning franchise, and he cares deeply about that. I love him. I do. I love him. And I know that he's had some personal issues in the past. He's got some Twitter issues. All that aside, he wants the Colts to win. And if you're a fan of a football team, that's not always the case. So we're going to take it. We're going to roll with the punches. Colts fans, look, we give real takes. And this is our real take. Look, this owner we have could sometimes tweet some crazy stuff. This agent, in my opinion, is a freaking nut job. But hey, we're going to find our way through this. And I think Jonathan Taylor, at the end of the day, will be an Indianapolis Colt. And I think we could project, I think a contract was coming, but it's going to be messy for a while.
Yeah. Yep. And the best case scenario is, again, the weekend comes. This is all forgotten news. We keep moving on with the training camp. Hey, no injuries. Anthony Richardson's looking good and all his normal stuff, and everything just keeps progressing in a positive way. We had way too much of a circus last year. We need to get back to just being a football team.
Yeah, we play football. Guys, hey, if you want to join us for the ride, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more Colts content, and until next time, thanks for watching the Common Colt Podcast.